And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Victoria 3, finishing up this run. Things have gone wrong. The run is not going as good as it could have. We still have 1 billion GDP, and we're still in first prestige-wise, because that's what the raw size of the Great Qing can get you, as long as your economy's doing okay. Let's unpause. Running a little bit of deficit because I'm building too much. I might let the private queue have the construction for a bit while we try to burn off the credit. Oh, what do I want after particular agitation? Don't need the labor-saving PMs. Could do the oil turbine, we don't really got the oil for that. Could do arc welding for the warships. And the construction sector. Say no on that. Mechanized slaughter. Okay, so that leaves the last real game improvement, the mechanized farming. Okay, so I'm buying that. Bit of a queue, but that's fine. Houses of Faith. We don't have any problems, that'll be fine. Go ahead. Build up a little bit of a treasury by paying down the credit debt, and then we'll start constructing stuff again. I'm probably at the point where I should just build more construction. Because the investment pool is filling up, not shrinking. Oh, and we're at peace, so we can contemplate potentially convincing some of our subjects to become one with the Great Qing. %75% chance they simply accept. Okay. And they don't. Okay, so we'll have to put them down, which isn't ideal. Oh, Russia's siding with them. Oh, they happen to like my subjects so much that they don't want to come in. Okay. We'll still try to bring in... Can't bring you in. Answer subject... Sure, Finland. Okay, we still apparently have a larger army on the two fronts. Plus the Germans. I think we can defeat the Russians if it's just the Russians. And the British don't want to come in because of Afghanistan. Oh, I have auto-expand on the power plants. That's what's going on. I need to turn that off. Okay, let's expand the construction a bit. And yes, we're China, so a bit is just like throw like 30 levels at it. There, now we have poor laws. Should be a little less painful to boost if we really wanted to boost welfare. Although really in the long run, I really want to just get unemployment down. Even more construction. Apparently need some structures. Let's... put some railways in addition to the construction sectors. At least profitable of my companies. Primarily due to lack of rubber. Didn't quite get as much of area down here for rubber production, I suppose. As we would have liked. Oh, we have an available mandate. Grab vassalization too, to give us a little bit more revenue. As well as more authority from our subjects. Allows us to do more taxes, which is more revenue. Okay. Little some room, grab an admin. Don't need the bureaucracy yet, but to get all our institutions back in line, I probably will. There's modern port for reports. We'll turn it on anyway. It'll provide more demand for oil. Just something I maybe should get investment rights into so I can just build up a foreign oil. Yeah, if we occupy like a single state in Afghanistan, they'll surrender within like 5 weeks. Russia's a little bit harder, although for Russia, we've in theory got the Germans after them. If the Germans get far enough in, it'd be fair, if the Germans get far enough in, the entire war wins. Because all they have to do is get sent to St. Petersburg, and the Russians will be out of the war. GDP is stagnating, which isn't completely surprising to me. Probably means we're just becoming more dependent on imports. Yeah, I need to deal with the steel problem. Need to build steel. Private Q isn't building it fast enough. Oh yeah, that 10 of those. Nope. Hello, chat. Chat saying hello or saying hey in Twitch. So what? 10 of those is 1.5k. 100 of those is 15k, and we got 65k outstanding. Plus, we're importing another 10k, so basically 75k there. That's 50. No, that's 500 levels of steel mill in theory that we need. Meet requirements. So let's build some steel mills. $200, $300, 2, 3. One, 2, 3.5, 4. Anyway, if we don't stop importing when all those are built, we'll have too much steel, but we'll probably stop importing as we get closer to that. I think the Persians might just be about to run out of steam over here. Again, if we occupy like one Persian state, I think the Persians surrender pretty quickly. Is that the anarchists back again? No, nationalists. What's an alliance with Turkey? Just say no. There's no negative there. That's the anarchist back again. This appears to go way every time it stops below 70%, 75%, so... Let's see if it actually hangs around. Healthcare is back up to 4. I think that might be where we're... Yeah, one of those, that's where we're stopping. Until we can pick up the next couple techs. Yeah, we occupy a state in Afghanistan, so they're going to surrender like 4 weeks after we finish occupying it. There we go, Afghanistan and next. Where's my unincorporated state? There, okay. Okay, that should mostly get us close enough. I know we're just fighting the Russians, and the Russians are actually going to be a little bit harder to deal with because we need to transfer Finland to make the North Germans happy. On the other hand, that's just occupying St. Petersburg, basically, which the Germans are working towards. We just need to tap enough forces on the eastern flank for the Russians that they can't stop the Germans. And I have to say the bankruptcy recovery is going reasonably well. That's probably actually why we're trying so much to fight the Russians right now, is still suffering a little bit from the bankruptcy. The bell at Buck. Okay, don't like the fact we're technically taking on debt again, but it'll be fine. Oh, we got a glitch. That happens in Victoria 3. Expanding unknown in Turkmeni, or the Turkish Eastern Serbia. Okay. We've got a fascist movement, so we went from anarchy to fascism. You want corporate state or a single party state. A couple of these we could potentially do to appease the fascists. We need to get up into 2 billion. It's getting a bit rockier to keep going up. In theory, I think I took over. Did I? Is there oil in here? Does Afghanistan have any oil? Looks like no. Oh, there's a little bit. Western portion. We didn't end up taking over Persia in the end. First the Russians, then the British got there first. I guess we're at war with them because they want to take some of the stuff off of us. That's the small army to deal with that. Western New Guinea wishes to join the League of China. Okay. Western New Guinea. Okay. Didn't realize that bringing them into the power block was on the menu, but apparently it was. Almost there with Nepal. Okay, the war against Russia. Again, we just need to have basically St. Petersburg occupied, so we're waiting for the Germans to hopefully do that. They're almost there, and then the war will end pretty quickly once that happens. Sure. Anyway, there goes the Russians, because their capital is occupied. Gotta lower the chaos, and the troops will be able to put the rest of the problems down pretty quickly. Okay, we just need the group to get down there to finish that one off. I need more government bureaucracy, so let's first deal with the taxation capacity. And if we need more than that, well then, build more than that. Yeah, we're gonna need more than that. So 10 of these is... So we actually need like 100 levels of this. That's quite a bit. Okay. Should be enough to fix the problem. Although the problem is due to a temporary event, which will go away as well. But and then declaring bankruptcy's got 11 months left on it. Unemployment's still a problem, yeah. Okay, I probably need more construction sectors, actually. Although there's actually an argument not to do that right away, so... Get out of debt. Give it a little bit, see what the ratio is when all the government construction is done. Because we want the investment pool being spent. It's not currently being spent all the way, so we could definitely do with more construction. Or at least less government construction. So that's what we're testing, trying to see if it's less government construction. Oh no, it's just more construction. Okay. Just start running out of places to build these. Yeah, nice to see that antibiotics is spreading to us. So when we finish that one, we'll finish antibiotics real quick. We'll be on the macroeconomics. And I've got a couple glitches, because the game has glitches. To 2 million. And we're not negative 2 million in investment pools. That means more construction's wanted. Oh, and more taxes. Actually, furniture. Let's force the next. Okay, so new election, potentially new government. Okay. Yeah, that's probably about right. Excluding the glitch buildings. Okay, what's the most expensive thing on the market that we can produce locally? Oil and iron. Okay. Let's get some oil and iron being built. Okay, that's all domestic oil. Just build all the domestic iron as well. Now, I don't want to build abroad because we've got a shortage of local jobs. More max health. Although I don't got the bureaucracy for that, so I have to build more bureaucracy. The other half a point in standard of living. More pollution effect reduction is also good, yeah. Just a bit of construction inefficiency in Coruscant. It'll calm the anarchist movement down and the fascist movement. Let's try that. Got our big queue. To be fair, the private queue is even bigger, so... Opposed to free trade. Real floating trade unions, okay. Well, for them, free trade is a compromise. This is only an approval hit if we fail. Where the other option was a legitimacy hit. I'm surprised they're so interested in... Well, they were so interested in building cars for a moment. Now they're in explosives. Explosives makes a little more sense. Again, this is something I bring up again and again. One of these days, I hope we get an unemployment graph that's just like this population graph, so we can see how the unemployment is over time. Everything's going according to plan. It should be a very boring graph, but at least it'd be useful. And the radical ones, I think, are just broken. Radical loyalist ones are just broken. Because it's supposed to be showing how it's changed over the last 10 years, but I don't think it's been that flat for the last 10 years. Impact factors are having standard living below the expected minimum, and decreases in standard of living, which I think are mostly unemployed. Well, below the standard of living, I think, is unemployed, because we got 45 million unemployed. Yeah. Oh, and of course we have welfare, so we don't have any peasants anymore. I don't have people demoting to be peasants anymore. Which is probably helping to contribute to the unemployment issue. So you definitely make more glass. What's the local electricity looking like? Built a bunch of stuff that required electricity and didn't check up on it. Yeah, that's not helping. At least in some places, like, that's a problem. We'll get the 6 there. That's kind of a problem. We'll get the 2 there. That's the problem. Can point there. And actually, it's not as bad as I'd first thought. Initial glance. Yeah, so it's just those three bad spots. Okay. And steel, after the steel construction, is looking a lot better. If we can make domestic rubber, we should expand the domestic rubber. Nope. All the domestic rubber is going. Expand planks at the cost of wood? Yeah, okay. And our planks, I can do that, that works. All the power plants, be sure they're not coal-fired. I can mechanize those, cool. And that means you're unit intensive. Diesel. Okay, and what? I want to move. Let's say 200,000 heavy plank, or 200,000 hardwood. Which is going to be quite a bit of fiddling. Is up. Hardwood is down. That's probably enough of a change for the moment. Okay. So yeah, it's probably either glass or clothing I should do. Let's do clothing because that's gonna require goods that we actually have surpluses of. 19,000 plus another basically 20 levels from that, so what, let's say 210 levels. Alright, we see the private queue is also providing some, so that'll be fine. We'll follow up with some rails, because apparently we need more rails. Okay. I'm somewhat surprised we haven't had the Boxer Rebellion fire. Oh, the Boxer Rebellion can't fire. That's fair enough. Because we don't have anything owned by someone else. Political philosophy will give us more science, more research rate. Bit late for it to be very valuable, but... would encourage... This is the imports, right? Yeah. We're encourage some oil importing. Do I have max tariff subventions on export? No, that's import. Or did I push the wrong on the oil? I did. Okay. Let's make glass next. So, like 28,000 possible glass. And what's, none of our luxuries are probably underwater, right? We have tariffs on imports, we don't have on exports. Let's encourage that to be exported, porcelain in particular. Porcelain... Luxury furniture. And luxury clothes. Encourage those to export. There's demand in the world market, we want to be supplying it. It appears we already are to some degree. Some of the radios and the telephone. Where's the car? There's the car. And then let's make that glass. Actually, this is something else we're going to do with the glass. Turn off one of the porcelain levels. So we don't have the glass, or don't have the oil to go up to houseware plastics, which would be profitable. We're going to drop from bone china to ceramics, which in theory is a little bit unprofitable because porcelain is somewhat more valuable, right? This is just 5 more. Well, effectively, 10 glass, 5 dyes becomes 20 porcelain, which is arguably on base price a net improvement. And dyes are pretty cheap. But we need the glass, and we really don't need the porcelain. So we do that. A bunch of places are going to complain about. I'm going to go then take a look at the glass price. Which went down. And then our imports decrease. So they're not very much. Okay. So then we can do more glass, and the glass is going to be more profitable to produce because we're making less porcelain, which is driving the porcelain price down less. So it's like 20,000. 100 of those is 5,000. So it's like 400 levels of that. Okay, and like the philosophy department. And I need to expand construction again, apparently. Although we'll see once the glassworks are done. Because yeah, the investment pool is filling up, but at the same time, we're generating credit on the government, which we don't really want to do. Although at this point, we're probably got out of bankruptcy. Fully recovered from bankruptcy, yeah. Oh, we want that healthcare. And at some point I should probably save up and try to start doing Social Security again. We'll probably do that once we start running out of capacity to put more construction down. Which isn't going to be much more at this point, I think. Because we've got all the text to put all the locations down, so it just comes down to... do we have the unemployed / peasants in any given place? You know, that was how sensitive the liquor market was. I just turned one of them on. I'm like, yep, that's enough to completely crash the liquor market. Now, let's be nice to that location. I'd like it to actually work. So we'll subsidize it so it makes enough liquor. It stays full employment, so we get liquor. It's probably going to be the only place we make liquor. So lead's expensive, but I suppose I can put mention on the import. There's no more to make domestically. Oil's expensive, but there's no more to make domestically. Iron's expensive, no more to make domestically. I could change timber out for hardwood. Well, but at that point, yeah, we're basically out of timber as well. So that's there. Engines we can make more of. So it's engine, steel, sort of these three are the ones we need to work on for profitability circumstances. And or we need more foreign demand for our goods so that our unemployed have jobs. We're going to do something that's a little aggressive. We're going to subsidize the 3 industries I think I can force to export. They hire at a full, particularly the glass. Black gold and black money. Okay, so who do I piss off? We'll piss the one that's outside of government. Either way, that guy's out of government. And we get a replacement who's not much better. Well, I suppose the other thing to do... Interesting. Okay. Do we need electricity? Any places? You could use it. And you are hired to full. Okay. It's like 60 levels there. I'll put like 10 there. And the private queues decided that Jiangxi needs all of the power. I mean, it doesn't, but it's getting it. And yeah, at this point we could probably use a little bit more construction. And we're China, so a little bit more construction, 60 more levels of construction. Oh, we passed our law, so I should actually try to pass free trade. Yeah, just the one thing in the production queue. We're positive, the investment pool is still positive, so we definitely need... I'm actually surprisingly not very positive, because we're spending a lot in subsidies. On the steel mills, on the glass works, on the railways. Okay. In some ways, that's suppose better than on subventions. Although we should have some on subventions. Why are you still... Yeah, you have subvention on export and we're still importing. I guess the glass market must be oversaturated. Yeah, we were one of the major importers, right? So we're no longer importing, so it's oversaturated. That's fair. Iron's up, blood's up. Engines are exporting, so I suppose we should move on to more engines. Although that probably will push the oil price up. So 10 is 80, 100 is 8,000. Let's try to do 3,000. No, 100 is 8,000. Let's try to do 24,000, which is 300. Unemployment is falling, so that's good to see. And that might actually be an argument for trying to do more welfare to get some demand rolling, because we're running out of demand, and unemployment is falling. So if everything goes according to plan, then generating demand will drive the unemployment down, which will reduce the Social Security. Looking at the time, this is probably where I should go ahead and put another part break in for YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'll go ahead and roll into January here, and such. So my understanding is the game ends on January 1st, 1936, so I suspect there'll be one more part, as we've got about 7 years left. I think it's, yeah, seven full years left, I think. And we'll probably roll through one part. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. The goal is to finish this run out to the end date before we end this stream. That may make the next part a little bit long, but with an hour recording for YouTube, I think this is a good place for YouTube to stop. We'll do one more part for YouTube tomorrow, and that will be the end of this run. So until the next part, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.